This is the biggest scoop on the Khalistani terrorist Nijjar and his entire terror network accessed by Times Now. These are exclusive details from the NIA charge sheet, and global terrorist is how Nijjar has been designated, and details of how he worked to strengthen the Khalistani Tiger Force and how he conspired with other Canadian terrorists. All of these details find a mention in the NIA charge sheet. Now we're going to break this down for you. My colleagues Priyank and Aditi are joining us on the broadcast. Let me go across to Priyank first. Priyank, global terrorist. So Nijjar, being called as a Canadian citizen by the Canadian Prime Minister, was a designated terrorist. The NIA charge sheet gives out the details of how he was trying to expand his terror network.
Yeah, certainly it's an explosive charge sheet by the National Investigating Agency, which clearly reveals the lies which are being peddled by the Canadian Prime Minister, where he's been quoting Nijjar as a Canadian citizen, and other people have been, his parliamentarians have been saying that Nijjar was just a plumber. This just a plumber thing is certainly, which is suddenly triggering to all those people who have been fighting against the terror. Globally, whenever India has put forward their point, they have always spoken about that how these global terrorists have been trying to reunite themselves, and they are the biggest threat for the civil society. If you look at the charge sheet, it clearly mentioned that Nijjar was not a normal person, he was a global terrorist. And just a short while back, we also broke that information, that how these people have been providing visa facility to all those criminals who have been coming from different parts of the world. We are talking about a global terrorist because Rinda, who is based in Pakistan, and he is the BKI chief for Pakistan, is based in some other country. Then you are talking about all these Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who is also there in Canada and who was also staying with the person who was shot dead inside Canadian soil. What we have also got getting to know that the NIA charge sheet is mentioning about the kind of detail, the financial transaction, those IP addresses which are being used by these people to claim the kind of terror activity. Over the period of few years, these terrorists have managed to infiltrate into different gangs which have been operating from the Indian soil, and after these terrorists, the gangsters being provided visa by these terrorists and they are being shifted to abroad, certainly it gives a global perspective. The NIA charge sheet is specifically mentioning that Nijjar, who was claimed to be a normal person from Canada, was not a normal individual. All these annexures, there are around 135 annexures which has been added in the first charge sheet, which was filed by the National Investigating Agency 2 months back in the month of July, clearly mentioned that what kind of financial transaction detail they have got. That is not all the only thing. The NIA has also spoken in detail about all these kind of internet usages which was done by them, changing the IP addresses and trying to do the propaganda in favor of Khalistan. So basically, these terrorists who are based in Canada, like Nijjar, who has been shot dead, then Aditi Bhardwaj, who's also a pro-Khalistani terrorist, these people have managed to gang up with the gangsters here in India, like those gangsters who have already been arrested by these several agencies.
You know, Priyank, that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau calls Nijjar a Canadian citizen, forgets to mention that he is a global terrorist, forgets to mention that he worked to strengthen terrorist organizations and was also trying to bring in violence and unleash terror in Punjab. To get us more details of the charge sheet that you've accessed, Aditi is also joining us. Aditi, this clearly calls out the lies that the Canadian Prime Minister has been trying to whitewash.
Well, exactly. While Trudeau finds no proof against India on his theory that Indians had a hand in Nijjar's death, India is again and again putting out this point clearly, how Nijjar was not a Canadian citizen, was not an innocent person, but a globally designated terrorist. Now we have the charge sheet, exclusive charge sheet by the NIA. In this, it is clearly mentioned over here that the investigation has revealed the role of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, Canada-based self-styled chief of Khalistan Tiger Force, who is a declared designated terrorist by Government of India as the main conspirator in killings and extortion of money to strengthen the terror activities of KTF. Hardeep Singh Nijjar, chief of KTF, had conspired with other Canada-based gangsters, namely Hardeep Singh and others, to form a gang to commit terrorist activities in the state of Punjab and other parts of India. Hardeep Singh used to share the details, including photographs of the target persons, with India-based shooters, namely these persons. On his direction, accused persons, namely these, then were executing the plans in India. So this is how Nijjar was operating
in
from Canada, how he was
executing plans in India, and all of these details given out by the Premier Agency of India.